Dan Booknook-Noggin, and as promised, since I finished The Handmaid's Tale, I decided to go ahead and pick up its sequel, The Testaments. And I wanted to see, you know, if the hype was legit for this book. I know everybody and their brother, like, kind of went out of their way to go read this after it came out. I just now noticed this whole dichotomy the cover has. It's got the handmaid on the front, and then it's got the regular girl on the back. I didn't notice that until just now. But anyways, I think it's been like 35 years since The Handmaid's Tale was written. So it took Margaret Atwood quite a bit of time before she even considered doing a sequel to The Handmaid's Tale. Now, if you had watched my review of The Handmaid's Tale, you know that I had some issues with it. There were some plot holes with it that I felt like, you know, Atwood resolved in her own way. So it wasn't a very perfect book. But now this, on the other hand, I started reading this. I have to say it's around 420 pages, somewhere around there. And when I first started getting into this, it jumps from person to person. At first I wasn't sure if this was a collection of short stories taken from the Handmaid's universe, because that's what it kind of seemed like at first. It starts out in the beginning with reintroducing the character of Aunt Lydia, who I guess is like the matriarchal, like the head honcho for the aunts, I guess. And we kind of learn a little bit more about her background. I really appreciated that aspect. We got to see how she kind of got forced into the role of being an aunt, and how they kind of coerced her into filling that role, and it was kind of like she was unwilling, but she kind of felt like she had no choice, because it was like either this or you're dead, you know, that kind of thing. And then they kind of introduced like other characters, like through different chapters. Like there's one character that most of her story takes place in Canada, and we kind of get a glimpse of what Canada's like versus Gilead. And then we have another girl a couple of girls who are in the heart of Gilead, and we get their side of stories. I felt like Margaret Atwood, with these almost short story chapters, kind of helped flesh out the lore of Gilead in the Handmaid's Tale world. So in that regards, it kind of was interesting. It made for a better story, I guess you could say. But the whole time I was reading this, I kept getting the feeling like, why did she wait so long to write this? To be honest with you guys, I feel like the only reason she wrote this was because of the Hulu TV series. I feel like, you know, it's sort of like, you know, when True Blood was being produced by HBO, and when Dexter was being produced by Showtime, they kind of like forced their hand and told the authors, you need to end this book series, because if you don't do it, we're going to do it, and we're going to end your creation the way we see fit. And I feel like that's what happened here with the Handmaid's Tale universe. I feel like Margaret Atwood was kind of forced into creating a sequel or an ending to her Handmaid's Tale world. I feel like that, you know, that Hulu pretty much said, hey, you better finish this series or else we're going to do it. Yeah, this is another thing. Speaking of the Handmaid's Tale series from Hulu, one of the characters, I think it was created. I think that character was created from the Hulu show. I don't think it was created by Margaret Atwood. I could be wrong. Maybe she wrote this before they got that far in the Handmaid's Tale series on Hulu. I don't know. I don't know which chicken or the egg which came first. I don't know. I really don't care to know all that much. I'm not that interested or that vested in it. But like this, I just want to get it out there that this was one aspect of the book that I found very annoying, was the whole commentary, or the whole, every time they had to mention baby Nicole, just that phrase was triggering to me. Baby Nicole. Every time they would say it, it was just like, I just was so annoyed by it. I just, yeah, I found it to be very kind of obnoxious, and it was very annoying. But you know, this was interesting. It was decent. It was a decent read. I did like seeing, and like kind of, you know, you get this world that's kind of based on these biblical principles. They're supposed to be these righteous people, but you know, they do have their bad apples. I like that they still kind of, they kept that in there. Like there was some dude who was molesting people, and I love the fact that they put that in there to show that, you know, this place is not all that perfect. It's not all that cracked up to be. It has its issues. And then they mentioned another story where a handmaid was basically murdered in order to get the baby out of her. Yeah, I'm not going to go into details about that. I don't want to spoil it. You're going to have to read it to figure out what I'm talking about. But yeah, there were some interesting aspects to this book. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't think it was a bad book. I just didn't think it was all that great. I know a lot of people, especially when this first came out, it was really overly hyped. I feel like a lot of people were like, oh my god, it's a 4 or 5 star book. In my honest opinion, you may feel differently. I thought it was a 3-star book. For me, it was a 3 out of 5 star rating. Am I going to say that if you've read The Handmaid's Tale, you've got to rush out and read this? No, I'm not going to tell you that. To be quite perfectly honest with you, I think you can get away with just reading the first book, The Handmaid's Tale. I think that's satisfactory enough. And if you really enjoy, if you read The Handmaid's Tale and you really enjoy it, you kind of want to dip your toes back into that world, maybe you want to learn a little more about that world, then yeah, sure, go for it. Go in and check out book 2, because then you'll get that little extra stuff about that world. Can I say that everything was perfect? That, like, you know, are there any plot holes or anything that contradicts itself between the 2 books? Not that I found or that I paid attention to. I wasn't really like reading this with the whole, like, you know, seeking out that kind of stuff. I was just reading it for enjoyment, and I thought it was okay. I gave it a 3 out of 5 star rating on Goodreads. It is what it is. It's not perfect. It's not that great in my opinion. It's okay. At one point I was kind of confused with the different chapters. I'm like, are these short stories or is this going to be a linear story? Because sometimes the history in the chapters didn't feel like they lined up properly, because the way they would talk about events just seemed kind of off-kilter at sometimes. Like the planning of events, like one day this lady, she's ran away with some organization, and the next day she's getting married. So I was kind of confused. Like, what the hell's going on here? Is this a linear story, or are they flashing back, and what are they doing? So yeah, I will admit it was kind of confusing at times in that regard. But of course, as always, for you folks in the U.S., I will have a link to Amazon down below if you'd like to pick up a copy of this for yourselves. As I always mention, I'm not receiving AdSense, so any and all purchases made through that link help out my channel. I get a very small percentage of anything that's purchased through that link. Doesn't necessarily have to be this book. You could buy like a pack of gum if you want, or anything, and I get a very small percentage of that. If you happen to live outside the U.S., but you still want to help out, go ahead and donate to my coffee link. They have this thing where you can buy me a coffee. It's $3 U.S. You have the option to buy 1 or 2 or multiples. You can even do a monthly thing if you want to do that. I have yet to have anybody do a monthly subscription kind of thing for it. And I do have some ideas that I'm thinking about throwing around about doing some, like, streams that would be for people that are, like, you know, that are donating on a monthly basis. So, like, if you guys are interested in that, let me know that down below. I have a number of ideas of things that I feel like that would not fly on YouTube, but I could do as a monthly streaming thing that I would love to chat with you guys and talk about books and different things like that. But if you can't do either of those things, you can hit that subscriber button and hit that notification bell so you know when I upload another video in the future. That's all I got for you guys. Not really too much I can say about this. I mean, it is what it is. It was an okay read. You know, 3 out of 5 stars is okay. It's good. It's good. 3 out of 5 stars is not bad. It's not like it's a 2 or a 1. So yeah. Go check it out. If you read Handmaid's Tale, you've yet to read this, you just want more of that, then check this out. I think it'll help fill that hole. Till next time, this has been Dan. This has been The Testaments. Check out that cover. I mean, it's so different. You can tell this has got sun bleached from, yeah. Till next time, later.